47 till 67. Well, actually, we moved into the new school in 50. And the addition that you're talking about was 67. So you said 68 or 69. It's pretty close. That was 67. And then, of course, we had the full basement, and we had the gym up above. So we were able to take care of school lunch down there very adequately. We also built, in 67, we built some more classrooms, 6 more classrooms, plus the beautiful library that we have today. That happened in 67.
Yes, many people throughout the community have always marveled at such a beautiful library for middle school and grade school, yes.
Right.
Now moving away from some of the building questions, been spending an awful lot of time talking about the construction of the parish. And I realize this is going to be a hard question for you to probably answer in a short time, but what are some of your cherished memories of being the pastor of Immaculate Conception for so many years?
Well, the cherished memories, this is going to sound strange because they're centered around some obstacles that grew up in the very beginning of the parish. As soon as the people who lived on the north side, on the south side of Highland Avenue, well, as soon as it was announced in the paper that there was going to be a new Catholic church right across the street from them, those people got up a petition to keep the parish out. They went to the city council with the petition, and so I thought, there again, I went to the Blessed Mother and I said, well, Mary, it's your parish. We got to work this one. How are we going to work this one out? So I went to La Crosse to see Monsignor Plessity, who, by the way, was Monsignor Victor J. Plessity, born and raised in EauClaire, Wisconsin, who was pastor of Blessed Sacrament Parish in La Crosse, where my first assignment was under his jurisdiction. I went to see him and I said, did you face similar difficulties when you established Blessed Sacrament? He said, I sure did. I said, how do you go about this? He said, kill him with kindness. So I came back and I went to visit the homes of all the people who signed a petition. And I went to see them and I said, you know, if I were in your place, I would have signed that petition to the city council myself. Because if I moved up here like you did, I would hope that across the street from me, there would be similar residences like my own, and not a whole bunch of big mortar consisting of a school and a whole parish plant, a rectory and a common, and eventually a church. I would have signed a petition myself if I were in your place. But now, how about looking at it from my point of view? The bishop sent me up here to do a job, and I'm trying to do the job. So I got a call from Mayor Orville Christensen saying, I don't know what happened, but the people have withdrawn the petition. They're not going to object anymore to the church being there or the parish plant being built. And what did you do? I heard you went to see them, and I said, well, the Lord was with us. We must have said the right things. So that's exactly what happened. Now, the joyous part of that is that when the mayor called me to tell me that the people withdrew the petition, it actually made me very happy. We had another problem when we bought the property. The original property was all east of Isabel Street. Isabel Street ran north-south. It came from the north, and it dead-ended at Highland Avenue. According to the city plat, it was supposed to go one more block. It dead-ended at Sherwin. It was supposed to go one more block, eventually over to Highland. It couldn't go any farther south because there were homes in the way. So we bought the property west of this Isabel Street, which was just platted. And then we got the city to deed over Isabel Street to us that was supposed to run through our property. Once we did that, the people living on Sherwin Avenue, some on Highland, petitioned the city and said, now don't let them close off the alley. There's an alley running from Highland up to the property we own, you see. And they said, don't let them close off the alley, but fortunately, the council didn't listen to them, and the alley was closed off. We said to the people, now listen, you can drive through our property, you can get out on the east end of that alley. They had said they'd have to back out into Margaret Street, which would cause a traffic problem. We said to them, you can drive through our property. You have an access on the east side of the property. You can drive through. But later on, the city told us we had to fence in all of our playground. So once we fenced it in, that took away their access to the east. But that wasn't our action, that was the city council's action. So it all worked out to our favor in the long run. So that alley was closed off. See, that alley was scheduled to run all the way through our property. Once we owned the property west of Isabel Street, and the city deeded Isabel Street to us, well, the alley couldn't go through because we weren't going to let it run through our property because the school would be in the way. Our third problem was Northern States Power Company had their wires up overhead on poles running through the property, serving the area east of Agnes Street, see where the church now is. And so the poles started on Highland Avenue, and so there was this alley between Sherwin and Highland, and the poles and the wires ran straight through. So I petitioned Northern States Power Company to I said, our plan is to put all the wiring underground, electrical and telephone and everything. And so we argued back and forth with them, and they held firm, and I held firm. So finally one day I called Northern States and I said, well, we're finished with the first story of the school, and we're starting up towards the second story. You better get your wires out of there because we're going to keep going, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. So they backed down, thank the Lord, and they put everything underground. They took down their wires, which they had hoped would serve everything east of Agnes Street. And so there was sadness in having to face those difficulties, but there was a lot of joy too in knowing that the Lord worked them all out for us, and people saw it our way, and everything worked out fine. I didn't want those poles or wires through the playground area because, the ball, they interfere with playing baseball, and kids are going to climb poles. If you show me a kid that won't climb a pole, I was afraid someone's going to get hurt. So Northern States Power considered the wisdom of our suggestion, and they took down their wires and put everything underground. So with sadness came a lot of joy. It was the Lord's work, and nothing was going to stop it. It would seem.
You celebrated your Golden Jubilee as a priest in what year, Father?
1990.
1990. That was after you...
What's the matter with me? 1990, because I'm 55. I'll be 60 years ordained, 56 years ordained in the 18th of May, of this coming year. Where are we? We're in 1995. 55 years this past May. 18 ordination, so 50 years in 1990. So one of the big joys to me, if the Lord spares me, is to be around to celebrate this Golden Jubilee, because often the founding pastor is not around.
Yes. Yes, it's truly amazing, and I find
God's been good.
a lot of people are truly amazed that the parish has only had 2 pastors in 50 years. It's really an amazing story.
Yeah. That first one would have got out sooner instead of staying on for 38 years.
And lastly, Father, as we conclude this interview, how has the Lord blessed you during your lifetime? That's a real general question, but what are your feelings?
Well, I feel that God has blessed me because I think my priesthood has been productive in many ways. And first of all, God's blessed me by giving me a vocation to be a priest. And He's blessed me, surrounded me with many friends and many wonderful parishioners over the years. This never could be done without the good people. So the people are my greatest blessing. From the very beginning, there were always people around that helped tremendously and knew all the answers. And naturally, you think of the pioneer parishioners who made the supreme sacrifice to get the ball going. And then as they went on to heaven, the Lord always sent other parishioners to take their place. So the greatest blessing that the priest can have is working with people and then seeing the fruit of his efforts blossom forth in their lives. And of course, when you speak of people, there's nothing will take the place of children. Being able to go over to school every day and instruct the children, that's the greatest blessing of all. And of course, the greatest blessing of all has to be the privilege of offering Mass every day and having the health, in spite of some setbacks, to be still around to celebrate the golden jubilee of the parish.
We look forward to seeing you. You've truly been an inspiration, Father, and we thank you very much for the interview.
You're very kind. You're very kind, Rick. It was a privilege to be able to do it, and thanks for coming by.